Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Miracle Mindset Monday for this week. So remember, with our Miracle Mindset Monday, this is just a generalized energy forecast for the week. There are no personalized readings. If you are interested in your own personalized Miracle Mindset Monday, then you are free to go visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. Good morning, Kieran. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Terry. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And thank you all for those who also share out the broadcast. I always appreciate it. So this week we're going to be using just two decks. We're going to be using the Ask Your Guides deck from Sonia Choquette. And we're also going to be using the Postcards from Spirit by Colette Baron Reed. Good morning, Julie. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. So for this morning, our beautiful message for the week, our overall message. Good morning, Nancy. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Is all about us opening up to life. And so the overall message is open up to life and flow. All too often, what we tend to do when it comes to life is we only live by, this big giant picture of life. And we try to skip all the way to the end. You see a book, you start reading, and then you're kind of like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen at the end. And you try to skip all the way to the end. And in skipping all the way to the end, what you actually do is you lose out on so much of the story. And so why not just allow yourself to flow? And a lot of us don't really like that word flow because to flow to some people, it means that you have no control and that part of you doesn't really believe that spirit has the best intentions for you. And we have to remember that it does. Spirit always has our best intention. Spirit actually has written the story of our lives, and it can be wonderful, fantastic, and beautiful. And it just seemed to be with no cares and no worries if we allow ourselves to just let Spirit guide us where we need to be. And when it comes to allowing Spirit to guide you, like I always tell people, especially in my 8 weeks of guidance course, start small. Don't try to go from, I don't trust my intuition to, okay, I'm going to 100% trust my intuition. Allow yourself to start small with small little things, asking Spirit what you should wear, which way you should walk, what you should have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or even for a snack. But start there. So that's one part of flow. The other part of flow is let's get into the mindset of, instead of paranoia, man, the universe is out to get me, let's get in pronoia, which is, wow, the universe is out to do nothing but assist me. But we have to open up to life. We have to go out there and we have to get outside of our comfort zones and really begin that process of venturing into life, really opening up the book of life, if you will, and living each moment, turning the page, not trying to say, for example, you read one little part of the book here and then you're like, oh, what's the last word on the last page? Oh, okay. And thinking that you have the entirety of the book. We have to live each moment to the fullest and just allow that moment to unfold to the best of our ability. So that's the overall message for this week. It's about living in the moment. It's about allowing Spirit to guide you through that moment. One thing I say in my 8 weeks of guidance course is just because Spirit, you've given Spirit your life in whatever way, it doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen. It just means that now you have the guidance system to assist you when those things happen. So that way they last a lot less. But it is about tuning in and getting to that core, getting back into a habit of really asking for guidance, a habit of flowing with life. So let's go to our postcards from Spirit and see what other additional messages we have for this week. And remember, there are no personalized readings. This is just a generalized reading for the week. If you are interested in your own personalized reading, you can always go visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. All right, so here is our postcard. Oh, we have 2 postcards. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. So our first postcard is, Dear You, uncertainty is the new normal for the whole world. Things are changing at a rapid pace. And the old way we once trusted are no longer reliable. Okay, so right here, we're already getting the beautiful invitation to begin to open up to life. It's saying things are changing, and those old things that we used to rely on are no longer there. It says, but leaving the familiar behind can be a good thing. Once again, getting outside of your comfort zone, like we talked about already. When you are pushed to step into the unknown, you are pulled forward into discovering new possibilities that have been hidden in plain sight. Once again, and I'm getting the goosebumps because I love how this message is in direct correlation with what we just spoke about with the overall message of opening up to life, getting outside of your comfort zone and letting Spirit guide you, because there are beautiful opportunities out there that have been sitting there waiting for you. But because you've been afraid to live your life, to open up to life, you haven't seen them because you've been afraid to get outside of your comfort zone. And this is telling us it's time to get outside of that comfort zone. It says, check in with your higher power. Your soul knows better than your small self. And the small self is always that ego self that always says, I'm unsure, I don't know, type of thing. Because the truth is, we always do know. You know, if you find yourself saying, I just don't know, it's not that you don't know, it's that your ego has run out of ideas. And that's the best place to be, because then Spirit can come in and give you a different viewpoint, a new idea, because the ego has no more. That's why you don't know, because you're aligning with that ego part of you that says, oh my gosh, well, all these past things that I've tried before, they aren't working. Of course they're not. They're old. They don't work anymore. Let Spirit give you that new idea, that flow. It says, have faith in the support of your higher power. Once again, don't be paranoid, be pronoid. The universe is out to help me. The universe is out to guide me to what is happiest for me. The support of your higher power and the infinite potential for your life. Right now, the advice we have for you is this: try something new. Do something different. You won't know how it feels, what it looks like, or what the outcome will be if you do not take the first step into the unknown and experience the unfamiliarity of it. You'll be so glad you did, because the treasure will appear. We're so proud of you for being so brave. You are loved and supported. Beautiful. I think that this postcard right here sums up our whole beautiful message of opening up to life and flowing with Spirit. How beautiful. So then let's go to our second postcard that says, Dearest You, there are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes a loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crossed over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of loss and your control over it, your experience is asking you, or is asked to be acknowledged. Tears may be necessary, as is grief. When you repress your natural expression of loss and try to move too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in a destructive way. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break wide open, feel the loss, and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons you learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, even more of you remains. It gets better. We promise your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. We are loving you, sending you love, always and forever. And I love this card because it's telling us that as we venture outside of our comfort zone, there may be a sense of loss. And that sense of loss may come from letting a situation go that no longer is in alignment, but you have placed all of your happiness, all of your hopes, all of your dreams in this one situation. And now you're letting that situation go because it's no longer serving you. It's no longer in alignment with your path. You're feeling that flow of life begin to pull you away from it. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly natural and normal. What we have to do is really practice that non-attachment and say, you know what? This is, just like the card said, I'm going to break myself open. I realize, I acknowledge I've been putting my happiness, I've been putting my peace, I've been putting my prosperity, I've been putting this, I've been putting that into this situation or even into a person or a relationship. And you know what? It's not serving me anymore. Allow yourself to break open. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to go through that emotion. And then you get to choose again. But when we choose again, we then get to practice that non-attachment of simply saying, this is the situation I'm in. I'm living this moment, just like we talked about before. I'm living this moment, here and now. I'm not necessarily attaching anything to this moment. I'm simply living it. I am embodied in my authenticity, in my authentic expression within this moment. And that's it. And if we start to feel that attachment growing, this is where my happiness is, this is where my prosperity is, this is where this is, then we get to take that step back and realize that our happiness, our prosperity, our joy, our, whatever it is, whatever other emotion you can think of, never comes from a situation. It is always within us. Always. So now let's move to the Ask Your Guides deck and see what other beautiful messages we have for this week. All right, so our first card is our divine helpers. We have victory. So right here, it's saying, ask the divine for help. Don't try to do everything by yourself. Don't try to make every decision by yourself. Ask the divine for help. One thing that I really enjoy doing is when I have a question or when I have a desire come up, I always like to say, and you don't have to use these exact words, you can use whatever you ascribe to your higher power, but I always like to say, Holy Spirit, I have a desire to blank. And if this is your will for me, make it easy and magical and just flow through effortlessly. My goal is peace, thy will be done. And that way what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, I'm noticing and acknowledging that I have a desire to do something, whatever that is. Maybe it's buy a car, maybe it's do a new class, maybe it's present a new class, whatever that may be. And I'm asking Spirit, if it is for my highest and best good. And if it is, to show me through making it easy and effortless. But my goal is not that situation. My goal is peace. And so you see how I'm saying, here's the desire. If it's for me, give me these kind of signs. If it's not, that's okay. My goal is peace. Let your will be done, not my will be done. So really asking your divine helpers this week for that help. As we ask them for that help, we also get our creative guides, because we all know the divine is a creative force. And so we may get creative solutions to different things this week. And sometimes those creative solutions could be you sitting down and maybe you start writing something, maybe you start drawing something, maybe you start singing something. And this beautiful message comes to you, because remember, the divine can speak to you in so many different ways. Oh, and I love this last card because it just goes with all the rest of the messages for this week. Actually, so we have two cards because I can't do this one without this one. So our first one is our joy guides, risk. So once again, getting outside of your comfort zone. We can't say it any other way other than that. Get outside of your comfort zone. Take a risk. Do something different. Take a different way to work. Remember, just like with intuition, don't try to go from 0 to 100. Go from 0 to 1. And then to 2, then to 3, then to 4. Maybe by 4 you start feeling a little braver and you go to, 6. Maybe by 6 you start feeling braver, you go to 10. Maybe by 10 you feel braver, you go to 15. But you take it one moment at a time. So maybe take a different way to work. Maybe try something new for breakfast. Maybe try something new for lunch. But do something new. Try something new. Because we have the Divine Father here with new beginnings. But you must open the door. You must open that door. It has to be your choice. The divine has beautiful new beginnings waiting for each and every one of us, but it cannot force us into those new beginnings. We must choose to begin again. We must choose that. So this week, it's all about opening up to life. It's all about getting outside of your comfort zone and allowing Spirit to really direct you so that you can just flow with life. There's a beautiful line in A Course in Miracles that says, could you imagine what a life with no cares, no worries, or anxieties would be like? Could you imagine that? And I remember when I read that, I was like, no, I couldn't. Not at that point. But now I can, because I know that Spirit is always going to guide me. And it's always going to move me. And all I have to do is ask. That's it. The key to getting guidance is asking for that guidance without an agenda. Remember, like I said, when I have a desire, when something comes up for me, Holy Spirit, I have a desire to blank. If this is your will for me, make it easy and magical and just filled with gifts. My goal is peace. Thy will be done. I'm not asking with an agenda. I'm simply asking in general, just saying, hey, if this is your will, great, show me. Or, like I said, you can also say, hey, which way would you like me to go for a walk? Or what should I have for lunch? What should I have for dinner? But start small. Take one step this week outside of your comfort zone. Even if you think it's teeny tiny, eensy weensy baby step, that's fine. Take it. I send you all of my love. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here. I thank you for sharing. And most of all, I thank you for opening up to life and flowing with Spirit.